Hi, so this is going to be a sketchbook tour, but make it digital. So I've had this iPad since 2019, I think, so about 3 years now. I'm going to basically go all the way back to where I started and show you kind of my creative journey over the years, everything that I've made. Well, not everything, but I'll show you some highlights. If I was going to show you everything, it would take a long time. These first three are just the images that come with Procreate when you first get it. There's no way I could have created these myself, or maybe I could. Maybe I'm talking myself down. One of the first real attempts at painting something somewhat realistic was this piece, which is Michelle Pfeiffer in Scarface. I was watching a Scarface while I painted it, just testing out, trying to get more of a realistic look. And my first kind of cartoony piece was this Kung Fu sketch that I did when Kung Fu was first announced as a Pokemon. This is a Neopets paintbrush. I had a big Neopets phase when I first started digital art on Procreate, and I kind of had a series of drawing these Neopets paintbrushes. I posted them on the Neopets subreddit and the Facebook page, and I had a lot of requests to turn them into stickers, which is really where my whole Etsy sticker business started. But firstly, I was just drawing these Neopets paintbrushes and posting them on Instagram, and that's how I built my first community. This is an early commission that I did for a friend who was doing a graphic novel, just one of their character designs that they commissioned from me. This is a Rowlet drawing, but he's a strawberry. Yeah, a lot of my early artwork back then was fan art commissions. I did a few Twitch icons here that you can see. Some of this artwork is by my little brother. This was just a random sketch from imagination. 2020 Christmas, I gave all of my family Christmas presents that were portraits of their pets. This is my grandma's pet magpie. She doesn't actually own it, but it visits her backyard, or he visits her backyard basically every day. His name is Cooper. She doesn't have a dog or a cat or anything, so the magpies are basically her pets. These are my mum's dogs, Ace and Arnie, and my partner's parents' dogs, Billy and Quaid. I've always enjoyed making pet portraits. This was kind of my first attempt at making my art into a business. I was drawing people's cats as Sailor Moon style characters and just offering them as a digital download for like $10. I think I just got like a Squarespace or a Shopify trial, so it's just a 7-day trial, and I was advertising on Facebook, and I got a few orders through there, but I didn't go forwards with this. It was just, obviously I don't own the Sailor Moon IP, so it would have been an IP violation that could have caused problems in the future. This was my first sticker design. It's just a pastel Bulbasaur design that I drew, and I printed this out just on this really cheap sticker paper that I bought from Officeworks. It wasn't vinyl, it wasn't waterproof or anything, and I cut them out by hand. It was just kind of seeing what I could create, this was before I ever got my Cricut or learned anything about the right type of sticker paper to buy. This was just my very first attempt at making stickers, and it was these little Bulbasaur guys. I didn't sell them anywhere, I just gave a few to my friends. But it was a good start. It was a good way of figuring out how I could package them, how I could potentially market them, etc. Yeah, this was another pastel Pokemon design that I did. Squirtle. Obviously, I did get my start on Etsy selling fan art of Neopets, but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, because there's always the chance that your store could get shut down and then you would just lose everything that you have, because Etsy can be really strict about IP violations. Obviously, if you go on Etsy and you search for Neopets or Pokemon or Disney or anything, you'll probably see hundreds of results, but those people have just been lucky. There's still a chance that they could get shut down and lose their entire business, so I wouldn't recommend doing this. Neopets is kind of a smaller brand, so there's less of a chance of getting shut down. I don't know if Neopets even cares about small businesses doing this kind of thing, but yeah, I started off selling these Neopet stickers, and I met a lot of good people on Instagram through there, people that loved Neopets, appreciated the nostalgic value of the artwork. But yeah, eventually I stopped selling anything Neopets related on my Etsy, and I moved on. I think I transferred everything over onto my website. Here's a Side Bunny sticker design that I did, Mariquin Side Bunny. Again, I stopped selling on Etsy and I moved them over to my website and was selling them there, but now I've taken them off my website, so now I'm just selling all of my original designs, or designs that I have permission to sell fan art of. This was one of my first attempts at product photography. It didn't turn out very well, but this is what the stickers look like. This was my first thank you card design. So it's really a learning curve when you're figuring out how to run a small business on Etsy. Here was my first original art design for a sticker. It's these sad mushroom dudes. I still sell these in my shop now as packs of 3, and they still get a few sales, which is kind of cool considering I designed them so long ago. This was my first frog sticker design. I sell these as packs of 3 as well. They're still pretty big sellers in my shop actually, which is cool. These little happy frog designs, and they were my first go at, like, they kind of kickstarted all the frog stickers that I make now. Like, the majority of my shop is now frog stickers. That's what I'm known for. These Mother Goose / Mother Duck stickers were an attempt at appealing to more of a like child audience. Like, maybe parents would be buying stickers for their kids. That was the idea. But I think I only got like 1 or 2 sales in that design, and I ended up taking it down from my shop. This was my Stardew Valley sticker pack. This is an IP that doesn't belong to me, but Concerned Ape, who's the creator of Stardew Valley, has stated a few times that he's okay with small businesses selling fan art of Stardew Valley. So he's not gonna report small shops that are making just a bit of money off of his designs. Well, these are my own drawings based off of his artwork. That's a David Lynch. That's not my creation. But yeah, Stardew Valley is totally okay to sell in small quantities. Obviously, if you're making tens of thousands of dollars, that would probably be a different thing. But it's fine. This was more frog stickers, so I'm getting really into the frog sticker phase now. Also sell this one as an art print. There's a little fat desert rain frog. He's extremely round, that's why I like him. These little frogs I just sell as freebies. I always include a freebie with at least one freebie with all of my orders. This was for a Draw This in Your Style challenge for a friend on Instagram. I don't think maybe I posted that one, I'm not sure. These were little plushy mushroom sticker designs that I created just on a whim. Same goes for this rosy maple moth. And these cow stickers. This was kind of more of a cartoonish look that I was moving towards. I was still doing the dark outlines. I don't do that as much anymore. This is actually one of the best sellers in my Etsy shop. They're just little mini prints of these frogs on logs. Well, the print is called Frog on a Log, and he's just a happy little guy waving at you from his swamp. Little stars and sparkling around him. This is a fairy frog sticker. Not a very big seller in my shop, but I like the design. It took me a while to get the right colours and the right look for it. The intention for this sticker was to print it as a transparent sticker, but I didn't know at the time that you need a special printer that can print white ink to make this work. Otherwise the sticker will just be totally see-through unless it's on a white wall or something. This was a capybara sticker design based on those capybaras that take, I think they're called yuzu baths. It's where they bathe with all these oranges or yuzu fruits, whatever they're called. I really like capybaras, again, due to their brownness and very cute nature. This, I was moving into a more painterly style, and I wanted to make every brushstroke really visible. I don't really paint in this style much anymore, but it was fun at the time. I did a lot of drawings in this kind of style, and it was really exploring like a stylized realism. This plate of cherries, I really like the lighting in this one, and it does have that realistic look despite still being quite stylized. Yeah, I can't remember where I learned this style. I just kind of figured it out. But lately I've moved to more of a textured look. This is another one in that style, a piece of cherry pie inspired by Twin Peaks, which is my favourite TV show. Here is a piece that I called I Absorb the World Around Me. It's one of my first landscape drawings. I always avoided landscapes in the past, and I still kind of do because I don't really have the confidence for them, and I'm really out of practice with landscapes, especially since almost all of my life all I did was portraits of humans and sometimes dogs and cats. So I'm really learning everything as I go along, and especially landscapes. But I really like nature and cottage gardens and that kind of vibe. Greenhouses I love, so I really wanted to get into drawing more of this kind of stuff. And I included this little ghost character who's actually my Eraserhead Arts logo on the bench, and he's got these vines growing around him and he's kind of absorbing them into his body. And that was the idea of that. When you're in nature, you absorb everything that's around you and it becomes part of you. This is still in that same kind of painterly style. This was for Moon Spice's Draw This in Your Style challenge. And another Draw This in Your Style challenge for Art by Navi on Instagram. I was trying to incorporate more vibrant colours here. This was my first holographic sticker design. It's a Magician tarot card, but it's a frog. And that purple gradient looks really cool on the holographic sticker paper. This is another specifically holographic design. One of the best sellers in my shop still, and then I turned it into another tarot card sticker, which is probably my favorite sticker that I've designed. And eventually I wanted to create like a whole tarot card deck with frogs, but that'll be a big project for another date. This was the start of an Instagram challenge called Funguary. I can't remember if it was January or February last year, but these Instagram challenges are a really good way to build your art skills, meet more people in the art community, grow your Instagram account if that's what you want to do. Just doing as many of these challenges as you can, and they're also really good if you can't come up with drawing ideas because it gives you really creative prompts. So you see a lot of mushrooms here. Little duck guy that I drew in that same painterly style. Never finished that piece, obviously. Same with this cat on a bench, never finished it. I'm never happy with the landscape pieces that I do. This one was inspired by an experience I had last year where I was offered a fairly high paying job in marketing. And I was thinking, is that really what I want to do with my life? Like, work in marketing full time and earn that much money? Like, can I even be a person that earns that much money? It didn't connect with me, and I was like, I just want to be an artist. And I was like, I crave a peaceful existence. That's all I want. I just want to live in peace, and I don't care about earning a lot of money. And that's why I drew that piece, and I think it resonated with a lot of people on Instagram too. More mushroom art. That was from Funguary. Yeah, this is kind of coming more into the style that I have now, like gradually moving towards it. This was for the Sprinks 100 challenge on Instagram. You can see the original sketch for that in my physical sketchbook tour, but I never posted that one. This was a very half-assed attempt at a portrait of Sissy Spacek from Carrie. She's my favorite actress. Like I said before, I used to draw portraits all the time. It's all I used to do. But now I'm just not interested in portraits, and they really give you very little room for error. That's why cartoons and drawing animals are so much better, because especially when you're drawing cute little fat round animals, just like those little mistakes that you make can really add to the character and the appeal of the design, whereas if you make the tiniest mistake, like the nose too small or the eye a little bit wonky on a portrait of a person, it instantly throws it off and puts it into uncanny valley territory. So that's why I stick with drawing cute animals, and also it's just more fun for me and it's what I like. I like the cottagecore style. That's another art theme that I'm really into. I never finished this piece, but I might go back and finish it because I actually think that's pretty cute. Here was another attempt at a landscape. It's just a nice little English cottage, thatch cottage. I think the colors are way too saturated. I couldn't decide if I wanted to keep the line, like the dark line art, or if I wanted to use colored line art. I messed around with the colors a bit. I did not like the result at all. Never posted that anywhere. I think, yeah, it was just way too saturated and I need to work on my color theory. Might attempt it again with less saturated colors. This is Fuecoco, one of the new Pokemon from the latest Pokemon games. That was a sketch that I colored in digitally. This was for a Draw This in Your Style challenge by Ali and Jules on Instagram. It's a little babushka frog. I saw that one as a print. This is a bunny in a basket, and that was around Easter time last year that I drew this one. And the funny thing about this is because I'm from Australia and most of my audience is from the Northern Hemisphere, so like England or the US or Canada, it's always an opposite season to where it is here. So when it's spring over there, it's autumn here. When it's winter over there, it's summer here, and so on. So it's kind of funny trying to draw spring themed artwork while it's autumn over here and I'm feeling, you know, the autumn vibes, but I'm trying to draw spring artwork, or the same thing when I'm trying to draw like wintry, Christmassy stuff in December when it's actually 40 degrees Celsius and like scorching hot and I'm sunburnt. The vibes do not match up, but it's like you have to go with what's... Instagram is largely driven by what's popular in the Northern Hemisphere, so you kind of have to keep up with those trends even though it doesn't match with your real life experience. This was a little froggy boba sticker design that I did. Kind of somewhat popular sticker in my shop, not really. This one's pretty popular. It's a cowboy frog and he says, "You will achieve all you have dreamt of." Very inspirational cowboy frog. This one, art is a real job. For anyone that says that it's not, it is, and you can make a living off of your art if you want to, if you have the dedication, because it takes a lot of work and a lot of drive and a lot of ups and downs, but you can get there eventually. I'm still on my journey. Again, this was another Easter piece. I actually took like a break from Instagram and from art in general for like 2 weeks before I drew this, and I felt like I was so out of practice. That happens every time I take a break from art. This was when I started doing a Pokemon challenge. That's a good way to get back into the swing of things if you haven't made any art for a while, is just to do an art challenge. This is what I would call a master study of a piece by one of my favorite Instagram artists called Titsay or Titsy. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But I really liked how she created the soft light effect in this piece, and I wanted to emulate that. I'll include the original piece here so you can see the comparison, but I really liked that style. And I learned quite a bit. It's a really great way to learn, is to do studies of other artists' work, as long as you don't post it anywhere or claim it as your own. I never posted that one on Instagram or anything, obviously. You can see I was kind of incorporating a similar colour palette here. I think that was a Draw This in Your Style challenge. This was Shed Ninja for the same Pokemon challenge that I was talking about before. Tried more of a soft blending effect with this one. This was another landscape piece that I started of, well, it's sort of a landscape of a cat looking through a window, never finished it. This was the enamel pin design that I sent off to my first enamel pin manufacturer. I think I ordered something like 100 pins and I've got like 30 left, so I haven't sold out. Well, I had to get 100 unless I went and got a different manufacturer, but then it would have been more expensive. But yeah, I actually sold quite a few of them, so I'm pretty happy with that. This was my first sparkle holographic sticker design, so it's got kind of like a sparkly holographic finish. It's like a film that you put over the top of the stickers. Just these little round seals. I sell them as a pack of 3. This was one of my first attempts at making a sticker sheet. It took a really long time for me to figure out how to get my Cricut to cut the stickers properly without cutting all the way through. It's kind of a very delicate balance where it cuts through enough that you can peel it off, but without cutting all the way through the paper. This was another master study that I did of one of the flower fairies, which is this vintage art that I really love. As a kid, I was obsessed with them. I think they're like little cards that you can get, and they're different letters of the alphabet, and there's a different flower and a different fairy for each letter. I really like that art style. Another frog sticker, it's a little frog stack. Another attempt at a landscape piece that I never finished. You can also see the sketch for this one in my physical sketchbook tour. This was a Draw This in Your Style challenge for Bean Bee on Instagram. I think that's how you say her name. Here I just drew some oranges. I really like the contrast between the super bright orange and the blue. It's a really nice color combination. And I did another version with these little cute faces on the oranges. Here was yet another attempt at a landscape piece that I never finished. I just can't get these right. I really struggle. These are some frogs with names. And again, I liked the color combination of the deep blue with the vibrant oranges and reds and greens. That was a Snorlax Draw This in Your Style challenge. This was for another Instagram art challenge / prompt list. It's a little guy that sells potions, and he's a bear. There's those frogs again. I sell them as freebie. No, I don't sell them. I include them as freebie stickers in some of my orders, especially the little yellow guy. I think he's called Giuseppe. Yeah, little Giuseppe is a common inclusion as a freebie in my sticker orders and print orders. This is where I was trying out some, limited color palettes, because I really need to learn color theory and what colors go well together. So I was using like a limited palette of about 6 colors. Little silly cat and a silly hat. I have this one on my TeePublic actually. Someone just bought a t-shirt of it the other day, which is funny that someone's gone around wearing a t-shirt of that silly cat. This one is back when I did Funguary, and I turned that one into a mini print. That's another limited color palette drawing of a frog in a mushroom hat. I think I have that one available as a sticker. This was my 700 follower Draw This in Your Style challenge that I hosted. This was really fun. I got a lot of really amazing entries. I was just amazed every time someone joined, because I was worried that no one would join in. And I got something like 20 entries, and I actually got one the other day, so people are still joining. And I've just reached 1,500 followers on Instagram, so I'm going to do another challenge this week. Probably with a frog theme as well. This was my first greeting card design. It's a little frog sitting on a sunflower, and he says, "You look groovy today." And this is "You're my berry best friend." And it's a Pac-Man frog with a berry on his head. A baby Pac-Man frog, actually. This was a little salamander, I think it is, in a top hat. And now we're coming to the end. This is where I'm kind of figuring out the color palette that I want to use for my art this year. One of my goals this year is just to be more consistent with my artwork and my color palette, and I really like retro aesthetics. Like, that's how I decorate my house, it's how I dress, so I want to kind of represent that in my artwork. And here I was figuring out the color palette that I wanted to use, and then I tested it out here to see if it gave that kind of retro vibe that I'm going for, and it definitely did, especially when I include this paper texture over the top, so it gives it that textured look. And this was the first piece that I created using the color palette, and it's this little fat cat named Gregory in a very ornate picture frame, and I'm going to turn this into a series of cats in picture frames with different funny names. And that was a pretty popular piece on my Instagram. People seemed to like it, so I think it was a success. And I really like the color palette in combination with this paper texture over the top. It gives that exact retro slash vintage vibe, 60s vibe that I'm going for. And yeah, that's where I'm up to now. That's basically all of my digital art from the past 2.5 years. I hope you enjoyed watching and you learned something or got some inspiration for what you can create in your own digital sketchbook. And yeah, have a great day. Bye.